Ever find yourself wishing you could unlock those secrets, to a happier life? Like tapping into some ancient wisdom. Well, that's kind of what we're diving into today, exploring these grandes hermanos.
And they claim to be spiritual masters, connected to like the Himalayas and all that powerful energy. But here's the thing, we're getting this from a YouTube video transcript.
Yeah, I know, YouTube, right. But that's what makes this so interesting. We're going through this conversation from the Luz o Movimiento de Unidad, LMDU channel, bit of a mouthful. The people talking actually claim to be these grandes hermanos, and let me tell you, their ideas about meditation, energy, finding joy, not your typical YouTube stuff.
It's like we're translating layers here, not just the words, but these spiritual ideas. Tricky stuff to wrap your head around sometimes.
Totally. So, who are these grandes hermanos? They say they're 7 spiritual masters, reincarnated throughout history, all working together with like a shared mind.
Imagine a group so connected they're almost like one being,
Yeah.
their wisdom spanning lifetimes. They even say they were the Saptarishis in India, those super revered sages from those old Vedic texts.
Oh yeah, the Saptarishis, like the rock stars of ancient wisdom in Hindu tradition, saying you're connected to them is a bold move.
It is. They're presenting themselves as these torchbearers, bringing that old knowledge into today's world. And get this, one of them is supposedly alive right now in the present day.
Direct line to the wisdom of the ages, huh? But you know me, I like things we can actually use. So what do these grandes hermanos actually teach? One thing that jumped out was this focus on joy. Not just as a feeling, but like a serious spiritual practice.
They're saying joy is this high vibe state, elevates your consciousness, speeds up your spiritual growth. And here's the kicker. They're not afraid of desire.
Yeah. Usually spirituality wants you to get rid of desire. But these guys, totally different story.
They think desire, if you use it right, can be a good thing. Right. Like an energy that pushes us towards our full potential.
It's not about pretending you don't want things. It's about figuring out why you want them and using that energy to build a better life. For yourself and everyone else, really, they want us to ask, what's this desire teaching me? How can I use it to make things better?
It's a total mind shift. Desire isn't the enemy, it's a tool for change. And speaking of change, the Grandes Hermanos have some practices to help us actually transform. Lots of meditation and breath work.
I've tried my fair share of meditation, but theirs is different. They want you to start with laughter, like real, genuine laughter to get you in a positive headspace.
Sounds out there, right? But laughter is powerful stuff. Releases good chemicals, reduces stress, helps you ditch those negative thought loops, gets you ready for a deeper meditation experience.
I'll be honest, I was skeptical. Starting meditation with laughter felt kind of wrong somehow, but I tried it, and wow, it really shifted my energy. Like I felt lighter, more open.
It's about approaching meditation in a lighthearted way, not a chore, but exploring your inner world. And the breath work, that's crucial for them too. Quiets the nervous system, brings your focus inward.
They call it a bridge between your physical and spiritual sides. Calms the mind chatter so something deeper can come through.
That's what I love about their meditation style. It's a sacred invitation to connect with the divine within. Not about emptying your mind, but reconnecting to your own wisdom and strength.
Sacred invitation, I like that. Way more inviting than forcing yourself to meditate, right? And speaking of connection, the Grandes Hermanos are big on group meditation.
They say meditating together boosts everyone's positive energy, creating this ripple effect that goes beyond just us. Like we become this force for good, helping each other grow and raising the planet's vibration, all that.
It's like when you're around positive people, that
Yeah.
shared energy, that purpose. We can do so much more together.
Right. And speaking of tapping into something bigger, the Grandes Hermanos say some pretty wild things about Sanskrit, that old language from Hindu scriptures. Get ready for this. They claim Sanskrit came from the vibration of Om, that primordial sound of creation.
Okay, I gotta admit, I read that and my mind went straight to the Big Bang, like sound being involved in creating the universe. Are they saying language itself came from this sacred sound?
It's a powerful image. They're implying that Sanskrit isn't just words, it's imbued with this deeper meaning, a way to tap into reality itself.
Whoa. Like the universe is whispering secrets and Sanskrit is how we understand them.
Exactly. And it gets even cooler. They say people created Sanskrit words by tuning into the energy of objects and concepts, like they hacked the universe's Wi-Fi password, but with sound.
That's a fantastic analogy. It shows how Sanskrit isn't just a language, it's a technology to connect with something deeper. And they actually shared a word they used to fight the ego, chama.
Shama usually means forgiveness or patience. They're saying true strength isn't about fighting your ego, but rising above those limitations.
Don't fight the ego. Embrace it with compassion. And speaking of powerful forces inside us, the Grandes Hermanos also talk about kundalini energy.
Kundalini is often described as this dormant energy coiled at the base of your spine. And when it awakens, bam, profound spiritual transformation.
But the Grandes Hermanos don't just talk about it. They believe you can experience it through specific practices. Breathwork, meditation, and, you guessed it, chanting.
And here's where it gets really interesting. They connect chanting, especially in Sanskrit, to waking up kundalini energy. It's like the sounds or keys unlocking these hidden doors within us.
I'm picturing this vibrant energy flowing through you, a sonic massage for your soul. But they're also clear that kundalini awakening is serious business.
Oh, absolutely. They describe feeling intense heat, tingling, even making movements you can't control. It's like real transformation isn't always easy. Approaching this with respect and guidance is super important.
It's like you're going to wake up this power inside you, but be ready for the ride. It's not about chasing those crazy experiences. It's about surrendering to how you change, even if it's intense.
Exactly. They say real spiritual growth often means facing your own shadow side, those limits you put on yourself. And kundalini awakening, that can really kickstart that inner work.
Kind of like those hardcore workouts everyone's into these days. You know it'll push you, but you come out feeling amazing.
Right. It's about challenging yourself to grow, especially when it's tough. But hey, we got to bring this back down to earth a bit. You're all about actually using this stuff. So for our listeners, how do we take these Grandes Hermanos teachings and make them work in our lives?
$1,000,000 question, huh? Lucky for us, the Grandes Hermanos give us some solid practices. The big one, remember, is cultivating joy. And they don't just mean being happy all the time, but that deep inner peace that kind of radiates out from you.
They've got steps too, like practicing gratitude every day, finding those small good moments, really enjoying them.
Training your brain to see the good, right? Like finding the silver lining, even on a bad day. And it's not enough to just think positive. You got to actually seek out things that bring you joy. Being in nature, time with loved ones, anything you're passionate about.
They're big on having positive influences around you too. People, places, even objects. Build an environment that supports you growing.
It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you're around most, but for everything around you. So choose wisely, right? And what about desire? Instead of fighting it, they want us to use it as a guide, a clue to what our soul really wants.
They're saying, ask yourself, what's this desire trying to show me? What need is it pointing to?
Yeah.
Often it goes deeper than we think. Connection, meaning our purpose.
Like our desires are trying to HLP us, point us in the right direction, but we got to listen to them, understand what they're saying, and use that energy for good.
And to use that energy, we can't forget the breath work and meditation. Even a few minutes a day can make a huge difference.
Totally. Doesn't have to be this big, complicated thing. Even just noticing your breath, feeling your body, it brings you back to the present moment, you know? Calms all that mental noise.
And from that stillness, that's where we can access that deeper wisdom. Connect with the divine, like they say. Meditation is an invitation, not a chore.
Yeah, sacred invitation. Love that. Making time in our busy lives to just be, to connect to something bigger. And if you like being around people, they're all about group meditation.
They say that group energy can make your own practice even stronger. Creates this synergy that helps everyone.
Like we're all tuning into the same station, right? Creating this harmony that lifts us up. And talking about powerful frequencies, can't forget what they said about Sanskrit and the power of chanting.
They said it came from the vibration of Om, carrying that energy of creation. And when you chant mantras in Sanskrit, it connects you to that energy. Awakens kundalini, helps you heal and transform.
Sound itself, like a spiritual technology, tapping into hidden potential, connecting with something more. They even gave us that word shama to use against the ego.
They say it's a protection against negativity. A reminder to approach problems with forgiveness and patience instead of fighting.
Go with the flow instead of resisting, basically. Brings us back to surrendering to change, even when it's hard.
Totally. They're big on the idea that true growth means discomfort. Yeah. Got to be willing to go through tough stuff, not around it.
Trusting that on the other side, you find more freedom, joy, fulfillment, all that. And speaking of trusting the journey, you mentioned a listener question about guidance.
Yeah. Roger wrote in. He was asking about how objects can affect our energy. He mentioned Yogananda being told to wear an astrological bracelet, and he's wondering if things like gemstones really work for healing and balancing energy.
That's a good question. Speaks to that desire for tools, practices that help us feel good. So, grandes hermanos, what's the deal with gemstones? New Age hype or something more?
Interestingly, they say there's a difference between physical and energetic healing. Gemstones won't cure disease, but they might influence our subtle energy.
So, less about a crystal magically fixing you, and more about how everything is energy, right? Certain things vibrate differently and affect our own energy field.
That's it. They compare it to music, how a certain song can make you feel a certain way. Gemstones might resonate with our chakras, bringing balance to our system.
So, no quick fix, but a tool to support our well-being, kind of like aromatherapy or sound healing.
Exactly, because about that holistic view, that mind-body-spirit connection, what affects one affects them all.
Treat the whole person, not just the symptoms. Wearing a crystal bracelet might not cure a cold, but it could help your body heal by creating balance.
That's a key point. They're not saying to only rely on objects for healing, but to take responsibility for your well-being.
We have the power to heal ourselves, and these things are just tools. Gemstones, meditation, they help, but the real change comes from within.
And about that inner work, let's go back to meditation. Remember how they said to start with laughter?
Oh yeah. I was doubtful at first, but I tried it. Honestly, a good laugh changes my energy so fast.
Laughter really is the best medicine, right?
Yeah.
It lightens the mood, releases those good chemicals, and you go into meditation way more open and playful.
Like you're letting yourself be a little silly, finding that kid-like joy again.
Exactly. And when you're feeling that way, that's when you can really go deeper in the meditation. Use your breath to quiet your mind. Find that peaceful place inside.
Yeah, that sacred invitation to connect with the divine within. It's not about becoming some kind of mystic. It's just about making space to listen to that quiet voice inside you, that wisdom that's always there.
Remembering we're not separate from that divine, you know?
Yeah.
We are that, each of us. And we can all tap into that wisdom, that power.
Like, we're all instruments in this big cosmic band. Meditation is tuning in, getting in sync with the music of the universe.
Beautiful way to put it. And talking about connecting to something bigger, let's get back to the Grandes Hermanos. And this guy, Edward Charest, the one who wrote The Great Initiates, you were really curious about their connection to that book.
Totally. That book, for anyone who hasn't read it, it's all about these amazing spiritual masters throughout history. Charest's research is incredible. Like, he knew stuff nobody else did. So what did the Grandes Hermanos say about all that?
Okay, so they claim Charest, in a past life, wasn't exactly their student in a traditional way, more like an advanced student, they call it, absorbed their teachings on this deep soul level.
So less like an apprenticeship, more like picking up their wisdom by just being around them, soul vibes or something.
Exactly. They're saying Charest was so open-hearted, so ready to help humanity. He kind of became a vessel for their teachings in that life.
Mm-hmm.
His book, it's like a channel for their wisdom to come into the world.
Man, that's wild. Are they saying The Great Initiates was written across time and space? Charest channeling their ancient wisdom?
Right. Shows how everything's connected and how inspiration can work in mysterious ways when we're open to it.
Makes you think, what other books, what art maybe came from places we don't understand? Collaborations with something beyond us.
Opens up a whole world of possibility, huh? But like we've been saying, the Grandes Hermanos are all about remembering we have that power too. Don't have to wait for permission or guidance from outside.
Cultivate that connection inside yourself, that direct line, through meditation, breathwork, chanting. And as we explore our own consciousness, who knows what else we'll find.
That's what I love about these deep dives. We're not giving you all the answers, but hopefully we're making you curious, opening your mind up a little, giving you the tools to start your own journey.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, as we practice, as we learn, we'll start to hear those whispers of wisdom ourselves. Little synchronicities, insights, things that guide us toward our true potential.
So we're wrapping up this deep dive. And honestly, it's pretty amazing. If something as simple as YouTube can bring us these profound teachings, imagine what else is out there.
Gotta stay curious, right? Keep an open mind. Never underestimate the power of asking questions. The universe loves to give answers to those who are brave enough to ask. Thanks for joining us as we explored the wisdom of the Grandes Hermanos. Keep exploring, keep asking, and most importantly, keep that joy alive.